Hello everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. I just wanted to give you a synopsis of what I'm seeing in the markets here on Wednesday, May 15th, 3:11 my time, Eastern Standard. Here's the current status of the markets. The markets are going absolutely crazy right now in crypto. You can see them. Litecoin is up 8.29%. These are hourly moves. Bitcash 4.95. Bitcoin 1.16, Ethereum at 3.4, and Ethereum Classic at 5.11. So that puts our weighted average at very high at 5.876. Now, the one thing I wanted to highlight here is what is on the current watch list. I also been tracking some other ones as well, but they're pretty well the same, I would imagine. There are some new ones on there as well, but I just wanted to show you what I'm seeing in the market here. So I've generated all these charts for these pairs plus more. So I'm going to go take a look at them. All right, so there's this one here that's been doing really well called Atom BTC. And I just want to show you the performance. Now, this is over the last 2 days. A couple of things I've noticed when I've been testing this new watch list of Position Manager. I've come across some instances of where, for instance, let me just show you here. Well, it doesn't matter. But what I can see will show you is you'll get instances something like this. If you know I'm using the 618 as my entry, but we still get these false positives. So let's say that this point right here was to go up to 6.18. What that means is if it does go up to the level that I want on the Fibonacci level at 618, and then it suddenly drops back down. One trading rule you have to add is to make sure to measure that there's positive momentum or a momentum of a certain parameter to ensure if it does cross the 618. Actually, it's not just 618 touching it, meaning greater than equal to. It's got to be greater than, and also that the prior set of hours have to be strong enough to carry that trend forward, so that you know it won't for about 2 or 3 hours hover at around 618 or a little bit higher and then suddenly drop back down. We don't want that. So we have to make sure that our trend over a certain amount of time is strong enough to carry it forward. So like for instance, if we know that this kind of trend here not only crosses a 618, but it will at least for sure get to 786. So that's what we need to look for. Now the other question is, part of my Position Manager, what it does is it will use 618 as the entry, meeting these conditions. Not only that, but it has to, once it hits the 786, it takes profit right there. It'll put a new order in if it thinks it will continue to go up to, let's say, level 100. Because if it hits the 100, usually for my testing, it usually drops off. It usually, as you can see here, it'll hit 382, drops off, or 618 drops off, or breaks through the 618, and then we'll test at the 786, and then drop off a little bit. So you take profit here, and then you have a second leg up, if there is, with a new position from 786 to level 100. And usually, I have not yet seen in this crazy very bullish cryptocurrency market the last week or two not break through the one over it. And this is, again, I have to stress, this is a 2-day chart of all this data you're looking at. Price action is hourly data. All right, so those are some of the conditions that I look for, but this one's a new one and it's been fairly strong. Sometimes. That was a good move. So let's look at Bitcoin Cash. is another one, and we'll talk about each one of these. Now, one of the very strong hints I want you to understand this new regime, which it really is we have out of, I don't know, let's say 10 on the watch list, only one is using Ethereum as the stable coin. So the rest, there's always an exception. This TRX or Tron in XRP, that's the only other exception I've seen. And it's still doing okay. We'll look at that in a minute. But the rest are all in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a new stable coin. So I have to adjust for that. Because again, Bitcoin has been a strong performer over the last month or a couple of weeks. So the opportunities are now switching over into Bitcoin now. And I can show you that obviously here. So one of the things when you're starting out and you're testing with real live money, one thing you need to be aware of is to see, let me just show you, make sure you know this, API trading rule. No, actually it's just trading rule. One thing you need to understand is if you're going to start out, one thing I cannot stress is you don't want to go full throttle if you don't know what you're doing. So you got to start with very minimal trades. And these are the minimal trades. Maybe it is API. I used to have it. There's API trading rules. Anyways, okay, well, let me just tell you this. So essentially, when you put on a minimum bet for in Bitcoin, it has to be 0.01 Bitcoin. So right now, that is $81. So in order to do a test in Bitcoin, you better have some balls of steel that this is, or maybe, sorry, I think it's maybe this one. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope it's this. 0.001 Bitcoin to USD. So the minimum it'll cost you to do a test is $8.14 in US dollar. Now in Ethereum, which I used to do, it's not so bad. It's about $2-3. Might be a little different now. Yeah, so it's $2.40, and then XRP, I think it was 10 XRP. I'm pretty sure this has not changed. But let's see. This one's a good one. So you are looking at 10. It's $4.30. So that's the minimum you got to put in US dollars per test trade for these, and hopefully you get some winning ones too, so you don't eat into your trading account on Binance. All right, so that we know that. Yeesh. Let me get rid of that. There you go. Anyways, so I've shown you the Atom BTC. And let me just show you the other ones. So we'll look at BCH, Bitcoin Cash. Now, if you don't know on Binance, this would be a better browser. All right. So if you go over to Binance.com, just to give you a heads up on Bitcoin Cash, it's not my favorite coin right now because it's very confusing. If you look at for Bitcoin Cash, there's no such thing as Bitcoin Cash, but Bitcoin Cash ABC. So I think this is the equivalent. I don't know if it's renamed, but it's at least Bitcoin Cash ABC. So that's what you got to call it now in So let me just see if I can do that. It's bizarre. I think using CCXT, the Python. So if I go BCH, BTC, it doesn't matter. But I just want you to know that this is the new label. I believe you have to call it BCH ABC. All right. So knowing that, let's look at some charts. So this one's a little not weird, but another test that I'm going to have to use as part of my before I take a potential trade, or even put it on a watch list. Really, you can see here the peak it hit here is at 1 or 100 level, or just like it touches 786 all the time. So these Fibonacci levels are very useful. Anyways, like I was saying, you can see this is a 2-day view. You can see here we have a downtrend overall. Okay, so one thing I need to test is to make sure that the overall price performance that I get over the hourly data on the close price is greater than whatever is set at level 500. Okay, that's important, because that tells me that this has got has had a strong trend over the last few days, at least over the last close to 2 days. Okay, because if it only has, in this case, Bitcoin Cash, where it's, let's say, roughly the average price here is clearly over the level 500, it suddenly drops down below level 500 here. That tells you it's probably not going to do well. Even though it hits a 618 on the entry, it's just, in this case, it did hit the 786, which is good. And it took profit. Boom, I'm a winner. That is luck, okay? But I've had one trade where, I'll show you in a minute, BNB Ethereum, where it was not the overall price, average price of the whole mean of it was not above the level 500. So therefore, it does hit the 618 entry, but then it drops, and then you have an unprofitable trade. So you want to make sure that the average of a 2-day performance on the hourly move on the closing price is above this level 500. As you can see here, which would be this. All right. So that's a test I'm going to use. All right. So what else we got here? So we have Dash against Bitcoin here. So BNB. Yes, this is a good. This is the only one against Ethereum. Okay, everything else other than the TRX XRP are all on Bitcoin. So this one, again, similar to Bitcoin Cash, this has been an absolute mind-bending performer. Okay, so if you go to our tradingview.com and you look at the performance since the beginning of the year, this has been absolutely the #1 performer on Binance between December and April. I'm just going to show you that now. You can see it's just been basically throwing money, guaranteed profit, up until about middle April 19th. Choppy, and then it just came back down. So it may come back up, but right now, compared to the other ones, it's a very clear underperformer. Okay, comparatively, you see that downtrend over the last 2 days. So that means basically you might get the odd trade here, like here, that has hit the 618, but the performance has just sucked with this overall downward trend. So we got to test for this average price has to be higher than that 500. It minimizes the trading opportunity for sure, but at least it preserves your account. Okay, so do note that. Next up, BNB. So we'll do Dash against Bitcoin here. All right. Oops. All right, so this one has done not good either. It's just been downtrend 500, and it's trending up. So this is a very. I'll show you some good ones. But you can see here, it's just not one you take. This one would be a loser as well. This one, just luckily, the 618, and it did break through the 786 and the 100. So I think, I'm not sure if that test is a valid one, but we'll see against other pairs. So this one, Ethereum against Bitcoin, I think will be one of those winners, hopefully. No, it's not. And it just suddenly, see, it's below the 500 for a majority of the time, and then just suddenly shot up. But you can see here, the 618, 786, take profit, hits the 100, and that just peters around here. But as the day moves on, and as long as this pair, Ethereum Bitcoin stays on the watch list, what will happen is the window will move forward as time progresses. So essentially, this line will drop down because with the Fibonacci's, they'll get not retraced. They'll get refreshed, and then this will eventually, with all this performance, will drop away. So that's Ethereum, Bitcoin. So this one right now is the big winner, the Litecoin against Bitcoin. So let's check this out. Again, just below the 500, but just a sudden rise. And again, I'll even use the word smashes through 718, 786, and then it just peaks at the 100. Okay, let's look at the other ones. XMR. XMR lately's just not been cutting it. See, it's just been below that 500. And then it's come back. It's just, these are random movers. The other one we can look at is XMR. I think that's it. Oh, I missed one. The TRX. TRX. TRX against XRP. This one's not moving at all. See, it's just the price is just, it's too tight. It can move, but you get this occasional bar here. But it's a tough one to watch. Let's see what else we have here if it's been updated. So same performers. But interesting enough, if I look at, let's say if I go over to CoinMarketCap, another way to trade these in this market, I've been thinking, is doing this, taking, let's say, watching the top, I don't know, let's say, I'm going to use the top 6, okay? So let's do, actually, what I want to show you, maybe I should show you the trades from this morning that I woke up to. Now, these are all mock trades I'd like to mention as well. All right, so what we have here is the PNGs. So these are the performance since last night. NEO was the one that really threw me off, okay? A position was put on. No, sorry, BNB Ethereum. That really threw me off. So the logic here sits, okay, so we have this mover, trend's moving up, good, good, good. And look at it, hits that 618 for the next, I don't know, 2-3 hours, and then it drops back below the 618. That's a losing trade. So this meets the condition for the entry, meets the condition on a recent strong uptrend momentum-wise, but it drops back off. So that's not good. Hey, so here's what I was thinking of doing as a way to trade. So as I showed you on CoinMarketCap, we have the top six here. So let me check those out. Yeah, one other one I want to show you is was it Dash? I think it was Dash BTC. See here, this condition was met. 618, 786, 100, and that's the trend that we want to see. So, you know, but this trend, I don't know if somebody was testing the market here, but if my system was to take this trade, which it would, take the trade and probably dump the trade because now it thinks it's going to go below and drop below 618. Dumps the trade, but yet an hour, 2 hours later, boom, it goes back up, meets the condition that we want, which sucks. So those are two trends that we need to be aware of. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Now, the other way to win at this is to do what they call hodling, buy and hold. Well, maybe. But this is what I was thinking. Let me just go back to where I wanted to go. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So I got this script here, chart price action. Okay, so we got the price action. I'm going to look at BTC, USDT again, USD, US dollar tether for 2-day performance. And let's check out what this presents. So Bitcoin's been on a tear lately, as you know. Let's see how it's been doing for the last 2 days. So generally, this is following exactly what we want. 618, 786, boom. It does exactly what we want. 618 entry, 786 may not hit the 100. If it does or doesn't, it won't matter. It'll wait it out. But if it goes back to 786, dump the trade, and you're on a break even. That's what I'm hoping to do. So hold on. So how many trading opportunities were there for that? So you got 1, 2. Well, it's one. So remember, it's in 2 legs. It's entry here at 618, take profit at 786 level, and then dump that trade, take profit, and then open up a new position. If the conditions meet, which usually it will, take that 786 all the way up to level 100. And we have this other opportunity here, 618, 786. So the last 2 days, there would have been 2 positions that would have been profit. So that's number 1. So if we look at Ethereum, let's see if it follows the same pattern. So let's see if this works. This is where I was inspired to build this trading logic, but it only seems to work maybe in USDT tether. So here it kind of works here. Not much movement here, but here's the 618. Let me just blow this up. Okay, so 618 is the purple line. So it does meet that condition here. So it was one opportunity that trend did happen in Ethereum USDT. Let's see if it works in XRP. So that's for Ripple. These are sort of things I look for, predictable trends, but this may be one of them. So let's see, XRP, USDT. So these are tight. Hold on. Am I? Yeah, so I'm capturing 2 days worth. So here, 618. So here's one. 618 blows through the 786 profit. We have another one here, profit. I mean, these kind of conditions we could trade in, but from what I'm seeing all the time, it doesn't happen all the time. So it might happen 25% of the time. So I'm not going to waste my time building that trading logic. The other one we're looking at is open. I don't know if this may work. I don't know if this exists. So we're doing there's Bitcoin Cash against USDT. BCH US. So look at that. Oh wow, this is a nice one. 618 hits a 786. Boom. Does it again. Goes up to 100. Does it 3 times. Nice. And remember, that's over the last 2 days. Next one, Bitcoin Cash. Light. This one might be pretty good. Litecoin. Okay, Litecoin, USDT. Okay, so we only have the most recent, but it did follow that logic. 618 entry, broke through 786, but it did eventually hit today, actually, the 100. So those are nice moves. The next one we'll do is EOS. I'm going to check a couple other ones based upon volume. So we have EOS. So this may only work for USDT. Uh, 618 broke through 786. 618. Yep, went through the 786 and it did touch that 100. Lovely. We got ourselves a working strategy here, maybe. And this is over the last 2 days. So we're just going to move down the ladder here. So we're going to do BNB USDT. Okay. Open BNB USDT. Yeah, there you go. 618, 786, and it hits the 100. And as I keep saying, it always peaks at these levels, 786 or 100. But I've always seen 618, 786. So let's is Stellar is I think XLM. So we'll try out new ones. USD. So we don't have to worry about XLM, USDTT. We'll look at Cardinal. So XLM. Tight condition, but did the one time. Yeah. So this is good. All right. So let's check out Cardinal ADA. And that's the top 10. And this trend works a lot. So let's see, open ADA, USDT. All right, so again, 618 in cyan here, purple. Yeah, it did exactly. It peaks at 100. And this is where I've seen these trend for. So it only will work in USDT. I'm okay with that. All right, so Monero. We'll do 2 more. Let's do Tron Trx. USDT. Again, 618 right here. 786, and it, wow, continuously hits the, so now I don't know how long this will last. XMR, USDT, XMR, that's from Monero. So we've done Tron, now we're doing Monero. XMR, USDT. It's 100%. Wow, nice move. 618, 786, and it peaks at that 100. Amazing. Open Dash. Okay, so Dash USDT. I'm really impressed. This is almost every single top 13 it works for. Wow, this is really good. Open. That is very predictable. Okay. Again, 618. Now you would have had a losing trade there, but it would have broke through here, 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 and it always peaks at 100. Should I do one more? Should I do two more? Let me do three more. Okay, so I've seen Miota a lot. BSV. I thought Binance got rid of BSV, but they still have it. If this didn't exist, it would bomb, but it does exist. So we're doing Bitcoin SV right now. Wow, just came in out of nowhere. Well, still early, but that trend clearly 618, 786. So you would have made money there. Will it hit the 100? Probably, because you could tell that the peak was at 100. I just find that bizarre. Okay, so let's look at Miota. IOTA. Miota. Yeah, Miota USDT does not exist. Tezos. I think we're going to start struggling to find these crosses for USDT. So we're doing XTC Tezos. This may or may not exist, but I'm just pushing it. Yeah, it doesn't exist either. No problem, but we can go all the way up to the top 14. That is pretty impressive if you want my opinion. So who knows? Now let me talk to you about, if you're like me, go to quantlabs.net, blah 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 blah. This is why I think this is big. So if you go into the store and you go under Python, single courses right here for Python courses, if you learn this framework, you'll be able to quickly bang out strategies and bots to adjust for these exact conditions that like this one I just discovered and have discovered. And I'm being honest, I didn't see this in this. I just came up with this in this video. So what you'll learn in this is the infrastructure. It'll tell you how to quickly build the infrastructure you would need to be able to do things like what I'm doing here. Gather the momentum of the market. So as we hinted, it was at 5 point something. Now it's at 3.17. So the momentum of the overall market has dropped off. Still strong, but it's dropped off. Where you can build out your own watch list. Very important, because in the videos I talk about how I do this, how I maintain it, how you get more predictable results with this type of watch list, and other things as well. The charting, the charts I just showed you, lots of important stuff here. And once you learn it, you can quickly adapt and be able to, with confidence, be able to create new strategies to work in the market. I have seen in the last month, because as I said, this is May 15th. So for 4 months, I have had a strategy that worked awesome. What I just showed you being this one here, BNB Ethereum, which was the strong performer with Litecoin Ethereum, it did well till right here, 20th of April. And it just dropped back down. Will it come back or drop back? I don't know. But at the end of the day, this strategy broke down on this date or thereabouts on sometime in mid-April. And we now have Bitcoin coming along and taking over and outperforming these other ones that traditionally the last 4 months have been very, very strong. And what I'm noticing is, even though these winners or so-called winners here, I don't know how to trade them, because as I showed you, I'm like, well, this is not working as you would think it should. You test it, does not work. But then you come up with this other methodology of doing what I just did and walked you through exactly what you could do with this by using and showing you in USDT so all these other ones in USDT as a new strategy I could come up with that would, with a lot of predictability, be able to get me profit. But how long will that last? I don't know. But what I'm trying to stress here is when you learn this kind of course and get the skills that you need to be able to adapt in the market you need to, and then be able to quickly code up a new strategy, it would take you literally a few hours. So for me to trade up or to put together a new strategy with this USDT, it won't take long at all. All I need to do is just have my system accept USDT as the stable coin and then only work with those strong performers. And they'll come up on my watch list. Simple. So that's what I need to do. And I'll come back once it's done and show you hopefully some decent results instead of wasting my time with what I've been doing the last 2-3 days. And that's the other thing is identifying these trends as the market evolves, knowing this skill, this framework will save you a ton of money, or it'll save you a ton of money, and you won't lose out before you catch the trend, because we don't know how long that trend will last in USDT. And then there'll be another regime that will throw you off, and you'll find it by testing all this stuff and adapt to that. But once you have your majority of a system working, you just adapt to whatever the market tells you. But with this USDT business as a stable coin, who knew? And just focus on the top, was it 14, let's say, or top maybe 15. Or let's just say top, 14 or top 10. You can make some occasional nice money in USDT, but it's nice profit because you're going to get, from what I've seen on the different legs up, let's show you Litecoin. Litecoin USDT. So, from my calculations, if you use a 618 as your entry, that move up to 786, that's a 1% move on average. If you allow the system, you want to guarantee your profit here. That's why I have a new system or new position script that will take the trade. Take the trade, take profit, and open up a new position as a new entry point at 786 with a predictable move of hitting 1. And that's it, because it oscillates between those levels, and the other level between 786 to 1 is a 1% move in profit. And if you're able to see that with, let's say, the top 10, you're going to get, from what I'm seeing, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8% moves among these top 10 using this methodology. That's what I'm hoping. So identifying these is helpful, but also knowing this course to give you gives you that skill to adapt and not leave money on the table and missing out on those opportunities when you identify them. Now, you asking me about machine learning, I think machine learning is fine, but the problem with machine learning is you got to build the data set, you got to build the classifiers, then you got to run the simulation, and then you hope that it gives you the results you want. If not, you got to go bang, recalibrate all your parameters, run another test. And remember, if you don't have the rig set up to run the simulations and to get the results fast, machine learning is going to be, I hate to say it, useless because, especially in crypto, the regime changes. That's just the way it is. I've had for the last, let's say, 7-8 months since the fall of 2018. I've seen the market switch 4 times. So we're now in our 4th market regime change, and this is a new one that seems to work. Okay, so something I would consider, and this course will help you have the infrastructure in place. That's why I call it the infrastructure, so that you can now adapt to that regime. Because once you're trading off a market regime and have a strategy built around that, and the regime breaks down, you're now screwed. Because you're not only going to potentially not make money, but lose money, and then all of a sudden your potential profit is not there anymore. So you got to do something. But having the skill to have the infrastructure in place and just change the indicators or the trading logic to get more profit using something like I showed you with the USDT or Tether, you'll do fine. And that's pretty well it. So I'm going to shut up now. If you want this course, as I said, just go to the Python courses here under the store and make your purchase. And as this stuff builds value, it'll go up. Talk to you later. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.